animal! You dripped oil on my Italian marble!
Just fixing the flickering light, ma'am.
Safety hazard! You are the hazard! Get out of my sight!
The manual override is under the floor panel. I can hotwire it.
Please, if you stop that satellite, I will marry you. I will give you my fortune, my life, anything!
Commander Kensington St. Clair was born into a legacy of heroes, a woman who polished her metals more often than she spoke to her own family. To her, perfection was the only currency. Ford Wilder was the stain on her floor, a man who fixed broken things while looking like one himself. But when the smartest weapon in the world turns against its masters, polish and pedigree mean nothing. In the face of annihilation, the princess must bow to the mechanic. But is his price for saving the world her heart? Commander Kensington St. Clair adjusted her white gloves until they were perfectly smooth. The strategy room was silent, cold, and blindingly bright. Every glass surface gleamed with obsessive polish. She demanded absolute order from her staff at all times. Today was the launch of the orbital defense system, and failure was not an option. A screeching metal sound broke the delicate silence. Kensington turned sharply on her heel, her jaw tightening. A man in a dirty gray jumpsuit was balancing on a ladder. He was wrestling with a ventilation grate above the main console. It was Ford, the building's basement maintenance worker. Ford yawned loudly, the sound echoing off the expensive walls. He pulled a greasy black filter from the ceiling cavity. As he moved, a single heavy drop of motor oil fell. It landed with a wet slap squarely on the pristine white marble floor. Kensington gasped as if she had been physically slapped. The black stain was a personal insult to her authority. Her green eyes narrowed into dangerous, icy slits. She marched toward the ladder with purpose. Her heels clicked like gunshots on the tile.
"Get down from there immediately," she hissed, her voice trembling with rage. Ford looked down slowly, blinking through his messy blonde hair. He wiped his nose with a stained sleeve, looking unimpressed. "Just doing the scheduled filter change, Commander," he drawled. "You are contaminating my command center," Kensington spat at him. She pointed a trembling gloved finger at the oil spot. "Look at this filth you have brought in here. It is disgusting. It is a reflection of your entire lack of discipline."
Ford climbed down slowly, his heavy boots thudding ominously. He pulled a rag from his pocket to wipe the floor. "I'll clean it up, ma'am. No big deal," he mumbled. "Don't touch it!" she screamed, making her junior aides jump in their seats. "You will only spread the grime further," Kensington sneered, stepping closer to him. She looked him up and down with pure contempt. "People like you are why this country has rot. You are lazy, careless, and utterly useless to the mission." The junior officer snickered in the background, enjoying the show. Ford stood up straight, towering over her slightly. His expression remained bored and unbothered by the insults. However, his sharp eyes darted past her to the main server console.
"I suggest you check the cooling fan on the main drive," Ford said quietly. "It is running hot and vibrating." Kensington laughed, a cold and cruel sound that filled the room. "A janitor giving me technical advice? That is rich." "Get out," she commanded, pointing aggressively to the service exit. "Take your trash and your stench back to the basement. Do not let me see your face on this floor again." Ford gave a lazy shrug and picked up his heavy toolbox. He walked out without a word, the heavy door sealing shut behind him. Kensington turned back to her pristine screens, feeling triumphant and powerful. She tapped the main console to start the presentation for the generals. Suddenly, the screen flashed a jagged, bright red line. The red light pulsed like a dying heartbeat. Sirens screamed through the strategy room, shattering the calm atmosphere. The pristine white walls were now bathed in an emergency crimson glow. Kensington froze, her hand hovering over the glass keyboard.
The silence was replaced by a robotic voice announcing a critical security breach. She typed her override code furiously, her fingernails clicking against the glass. The screen flashed "Access denied" in giant block letters. Her fingers slipped on the smooth surface as her hands began to shake. Sweat began to prickle beneath her perfectly tailored uniform. The system was locking her out of her own creation. "Commander, the satellite has changed trajectory," an aide screamed from the back row. Kensington watched the digital map in horror. The weapon was no longer pointing harmlessly into deep space. It was rotating downward toward the Earth. The target reticle settled directly over Washington, D.C. General Miller slammed his heavy fist on the table. "Shut it down, St. Clair. Do it now." Kensington tried the manual abort switch, pulling the lever with all her strength. It was dead and unresponsive. The screen showed a countdown timer. 2 minutes to impact. She felt the blood drain from her face, leaving her pale and ghostly. Her knees buckled, and she grabbed the console for support to keep from falling. This was impossible, as the encryption was supposed to be unbreakable. Someone had physically bypassed the firewall from inside the hardware itself. A sudden memory flashed in her panic-stricken mind. The janitor. The vibrating cooling fan he had warned her about. The heat signature she had ignored was the hack in progress. She spun around, her eyes wide with terror. The service door hissed open. Ford Wilder stepped back into the room. He was not carrying a mop or a bucket this time. He held a heavy wrench and a complex voltage meter. He walked with a speed and aggression she had never seen before. The armed guards stepped forward to block his path. "Stand down," Ford barked, his voice deep and commanding. The guards hesitated, confused by the sudden authority in the janitor's tone. Ford pushed past them, marching straight to the main server tower. He dropped to his knees and ripped the metal side panel off with his bare hands. Sparks flew out of the machine and landed on the marble floor. Kensington ran toward him, her composure completely gone. "What are you doing?" she shrieked, her voice cracking. "The heat sensor was a decoy," Ford grunted, cutting a wire with his teeth. "They hardwired a loop into the motherboard." The countdown hit 45 seconds. "I can't stop it via software," Ford yelled over the deafening siren. "I have to bridge the connection manually to reset the logic core. But if I fail, this whole room fries." He stopped and looked up at her, waiting for permission. Kensington looked at his dirty face and saw the truth. She saw focus, intelligence, and absolute calm in his eyes. She realized he was the only hope left for her and the country. The shame of her previous insults burned her throat like acid. She fell to her knees beside him, ruining her white skirt on the oily floor. She grabbed his greasy arm with both gloved hands. Tears streamed down her perfect face, smearing her makeup. "Do it. Please, just do it," she begged, squeezing his arm. "If you save the president, I swear to you right now, I will marry you. I will give you everything." Ford did not hesitate at the sound of her desperate promise. He jammed the heavy wrench directly across the exposed copper terminals. A violent arc of blue electricity snapped around his hands. He gritted his teeth, his jaw muscles bulging with effort. He became a living conduit for the override signal. The smell of ozone and burning rubber filled the small space. Kensington shielded her eyes as sparks showered down like rain. Ford groaned in pain, but refused to let go of the circuit. His muscles seized up as the voltage surged through his body. He forced his hands to hold the connection steady. "Come on," Ford roared over the dying wail of the sirens. The countdown timer on the wall froze at exactly 3 seconds. The room seemed to vibrate with tension. Suddenly, the red warning lights turned off. The main screen flickered once before turning a calm, safe blue. The target reticle over the White House dissolved into static. A robotic voice announced, "System reboot. Target aborted." The satellite had been neutralized. Silence crashed back into the room, heavier than before. Ford released the wrench, which clattered loudly onto the marble floor. He slumped back against the console, breathing heavily. Smoke drifted lazily from the scorched sleeves of his jumpsuit. General Miller stepped forward, his eyes wide with disbelief. "That was a Class 5 manual bridge," he whispered hoarsely. "Only deep-cover CIA ghosts know that technique." The room turned to look at the dirty maintenance man. The snickering aides were now pale and trembling. Ford stood up slowly, wiping soot from his cheek. He adjusted his posture, the slouch gone, replaced by a lethal grace. He looked at the general with cold, intelligent eyes. "I had just read the manual, General," Ford said dryly. Kensington stood up from the floor, her white uniform ruined by oil. She stared at Ford as if seeing a stranger. The man she had called trash had just saved the world. Her heart pounded against her ribs, terrifyingly fast. She realized how foolish she had been to judge him by his clothes. The dirt on his face no longer looked repulsing to her. It looked like the war paint of a warrior. A flush of heat rose up her neck that had nothing to do with the fire. Ford picked up his toolbox, his expression returning to bored indifference. "I'll clean up this mess later," he muttered to Kensington. He turned to walk away, limping slightly from the electrical shock. He didn't ask for a reward. "Ford? Stop," Kensington commanded, her voice shaking with emotion. She crossed the room and grabbed his blackened, burned hand. She didn't care about the grease staining her white gloves anymore. "I meant what I said."
She looked deep into his eyes, ignoring the shocked gasps of her staff. "You saved my honor and my country," she said softly. "The deal stands, if you will have me." Ford looked at her, then smiled a crooked, genuine grin. "You're going to be a high-maintenance wife," he replied, squeezing her hand.